community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Bork. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
My fellow Americans, over 350 years ago, a small band of pilgrims, after gathering in their first harvest at Plymouth, invited their friends and neighbors, who were Indians, to join them in a feast of Thanksgiving. Together, they sat around their bountiful table and bowed their heads in gratitude to the Lord for all that He had bestowed upon them. This week, so many years later, we too will gather with family and friends, and after saying grace, carve up a turkey, pass around the cranberries and dressing, and later share slices of pumpkin pie. We Americans, I don't care what they say on Morning Joe, have so much for which to be thankful. Think of the great expanse of our nation, the rolling hills of our immense farmland. Even in years of drought, the plows and the sweat of American farmers call forth from our good earth more food than we can possibly eat. So much food that, taken together, our harvests of wheat, corn, soybeans, fruits, vegetables, and all the other bounty of our land make up one of our most important exports. Not only we, but the entire world can be thankful for that. Millions of children across all continents are happier, healthier, and stronger because of it. Prosperity. Is not an end unto itself. It helps us pay attention to the more important things, raising our children as we want them to be raised, helping others in need, and bringing nations together in peace. And peace is another thing for which we can say a prayer of gratitude over the dinner table. Peace and abundance in this land that God has kissed. We will give thanks for these and one thing more, our freedom. Yes, in America, freedom seems like the air around us. It's here, it's sweet, though we rarely give it a thought, yet as the air fills our lungs, freedom fills our souls. It gives breath to our laughter and joy. It gives voice to our songs. It gives us strength as we race for our dreams. Now think of those around the world who cannot bow their heads in prayer without risking their lives. Think of those countries where to write an honest word or even to own a child's simple toy printing press is a crime. Think of how many countries where to dream of striking out on your own and starting a business is to take a chance not on a better life for yourself and your children, but on a long stay in a prison cell. And then think of how blessed we are to be Americans. Yes, as we gather together this Thanksgiving to ask the Lord's blessings, as we of whatever faith we are, give praises to His name. Let us thank Him for our peace, prosperity, and freedom. Happy Thanksgiving to all the CFRN family. And I wish I could tell you I wrote that, but I didn't. A good man by the name of Ronald Reagan wrote that quite a number of years ago. All right, folks, welcome to the show. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're here for the first time, a special welcome to you. Let me just tell you real quick how to see the charts. Then Michael's going to come in straight away and give us a recap. Go to the home page at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. That's all you got to do. And you can also go to youtube.com/CFRN/live, bookmark that page, and either way you have one-click access to the show every single day. So now, because Michael has to be somewhere, he is going to come in real quick and give us a recap of everything that happened in the live training room today, and then I'll be back with more.
Thank you. All right.
Part one. And I can see your screen. I'll hit mute. Be here when you're done.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Thank you. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 22nd day of November, 2017. To any of you that tried to get into that meeting yesterday afternoon, I'm sorry, but GoToWebinar just did not GoToWebinar, but GoToMeeting just did not work out again. I even made a new one, but by then it was just a mess. I just could not get the audio to work in that yesterday. Anyway, like I was saying, good afternoon. Today is the 22nd day of November, 2017. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page and right up here at the top, it's going to say sign up for the CFRN Live Training Room. 100% free trial. User indicators on our strategy. Click here. When you click there, it's going to bring you to this page right here. On this page, all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. You click that submit button, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay. If you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the trial. Okay. All right. Spreadsheet. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you can read all the CFTC risk disclosure stuff down at the bottom. Today, as I said, is the 22nd day of November. Today we made 2 ticks in the euro, 8 ticks in the Russell, 18 ticks in crude, and 2 ticks in gold to get us up to 252.50. Took 68 minutes and 6 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up 102.50, and we took a total of 10 opportunities this morning. So on the month now, we're at 2283.75. That's over 15 days, averaging 152 per day. On the year, we're at 30,566. That's over 220 days, averaging $138 per contract per 2-hour day. Okay. So now let's just go and take a look at what happened here. All right, on the gold right here, we had our one opportunity. We got 2 ticks on it, and that was it. There wasn't really anything during the break because it was going right up into the high of the day. Okay. On the euro, hang on a second. All right, on the euro, started off by missing this one right here. Okay, there was a backup one, a follow-up one right here, and then a break even there. I missed one there, and right here I got 2 ticks profit. All right, then we went all the way through the morning session without another opportunity, and during the break, this down close right here off the BBC was a shorting opportunity. Would have been a break even because it went 4 ticks into profit. Okay. On the crude, we had crude inventories come out today. Before the crude inventories, we had just one break-even trade. This trade, it went only 4 bars, but it lasted 25 minutes, something like that. 9:50 to 10:12. Okay, 22 minutes. Then the crude inventories came out, and we had a shorting opportunity. After that, we got 6 ticks on that. We had a long opportunity. We picked up 4 ticks on that. We missed this one right here, but we got this one for 8 ticks to give us plus 18 on the crude. During the break, we had to break this dynamic resistance before we could trade on the long side, and this would have been going into the high of the day, so we wouldn't have been able to do anything here during the break. Okay. The Russell. Yeah. On the Russell, we had plus 2 on this one. We missed the follow-up. We had plus 6 on that to get us to plus 8, and then a break even right here. During the break, we got lower highs and higher lows until we got over here. So we wouldn't have done anything there during the break. All right, and the ES was just a total mess this morning. There was nothing there on the ES, no opportunity at all. All right, so let's bring this back up. And 10/22/2017, that is today. We made 2 ticks profit on the euro. We made 8 ticks profit on the Russell. We made 18 ticks profit on crude and 2 ticks profit on gold. So that's 252.50 total. It took us 68 minutes and 6 opportunities this morning to get the goal for the day, and we took a total of 10 opportunities. So we were 252.50 on the day. We're at 2283 on the month. That's over 15 days, averaging 152 per day. And on the year, 30,566. That's over 220 days, averaging 138 per day. That is 1 contract, 2 hours per day. Again, if you're going to read this, you can read all the safety risk disclosures down at the bottom. Now, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the homepage here at CFRN.net, and right here where it says sign up for the CFRN Live Training Room, 100% free trial user indicators on our strategy, click here. Once you click there, you'll be brought to this page. It will simply ask for your email, your first name, and how you found us. Click that submit button, and you will be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay? If you don't click that confirmation link, you won't get a free trial. All right? That is it for now. All right? With that, I'm going to pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. I have to go to the doctor. I hope you all have a fantastic Thanksgiving, and we'll see you all on Monday. If anybody has any questions, you can email us at support@cfrn.net, or you can call us at
949-42-EMINI.
That's right, 949-42-EMINI. All right.
Hey, recap the recap.
Today it took 68 minutes and 6 trades. 6 trades to get to 102.50.
Good day's work. That's per contract in 2 hours.
Yes.
Now, if somebody would put an X in the chat, oh, they just did. Okie doke, because I wanted to share with you guys the link to what I just read. Let me go there, send to all. Okay. I did not read President Reagan's address in its entirety. I picked it apart, but if anyone wants the entire thing to read, there it is. So, Michael, good luck with your journey to the dock. Give Jada our best.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to you and everyone else.
I'll be chatting at you this afternoon a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Jim shares with us from the audience on this day 54 years ago at 1 p.m. Dallas time. JFK was assassinated. And Jim says, to me, it seems like yesterday. Wow. That was a day that rocked this nation. I was young. I think I was 4. But anyway, 4 or 5. But I do remember it. I was at my grandmother's house when it came on the TV. And she was really disturbed by it. And I couldn't, at that point in my life, I didn't understand what the big deal was. Some guy got shot. I didn't realize how important that some guy really was. Okie doke. Let's take a look. As you can see from the S&P 500 chart I have up, okay, we rallied up yesterday on the Concierge Trade Alert at a 9-point run. And then what do we do? Sideways holiday trade. Now, since today is going to be our last day for the week, I'm going to adjust the zones. And Greg from the audience says, this day 23 years ago, my son was born in Houston. Well, congratulations, Greg. Wish him a happy birthday from all of us at CFRN. Okay, 26, 10, 11 happens to be same zone from last week. The next zone below this week, I normally do this on Thursday, but since we won't be here tomorrow, I'll do it today. 2600. $25.99. Now, keep in mind, we reveal typically the trading zones to the general audience, CFRN community, on Thursday. But the partners themselves, they get the zones Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, before Wall Street even wakes up. Okay. And whether you use them as a backdrop to your trading, or as some of our partners do, they just trade the zones. Zone to zone kind of deal. Okay, below $25.99 is $87.88. $87.88. And below that, we got $78.79. Carryover from last week. We got $70.71. Okay. And below that was 25. Let's see, below 78. 70.71. And then 58.59. Which was way down here. Okay. Now, if we roll back in time, we can find The candle that started all this. Started the week, last Sunday night. And we have found it. It's that guy right there. Okay. So price at the zone overhead at 70.71. Came back down to the zone. I'm sorry, it hit 78.79, came back to 70.71. Ran up to 78.79. Sort of an unusual consolidation, but nonetheless it was. Did a leg and a retrace back to the zone to make sure it's going to hold as good support. Tested it again, made its journey, did a little consolidation, and then ran right up to the next zone at 99.25, 99/2600. And we tried it. This is a 30-minute chart. Once, twice, 3 times. Tried 4 times to break through that zone and head higher. But I got a feeling on this pre-Thanksgiving Wednesday. I think I gave the date today. Today is the 22nd of November 2017. Not that you wouldn't know that, but someone listening in the future, 5 years from now or 500 years from now, they might not know. So now we can take this and make it say this. There we go. Zone to zone to zone to zone. We've been publishing the zones since December 14th of 2009. And everything we do with them, know about them, teach about them, has to do with historical observance. Okay. Now, if you're wondering what the Concierge Trade Alert was last night for the S&P, I can tell you it wasn't much. But I will tell you exactly what it is, and I will also give you an opportunity to snap a shot as soon as it pops up here. There we go. Tuesday evening. Okay, so if you want to take a snap, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we would have liked to have bought 2603. No chance of that. The other option was to sell 2593, and that hasn't happened yet, but it could. So we'll keep an eye on that. Oh, there's John. Hi, John. Welcome to the show.
Hello there. How are you doing?
Very good. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.
And to you and yours and everybody listening, all the people who follow us every day. Very much appreciate it, and we're very thankful for it. So
yes, we are. The fact that people invite us into their homes, into their offices, into their cars, into their lives, we do not take that lightly.
Likewise.
From the audience,
well,
Jim shared that 54 years ago at 1 p.m. that's when President Kennedy was shot.
Wow, that's a point. Yeah. Just about an hour from now, right? Or half an hour from now. That's a big deal.
Tragic day for this nation.
Sure. We got a bit of a shakeout going on here in the Dow today. Not the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is maintaining a very strong form against some negatives that have been creeping in. They actually put a sellout yesterday on the SOXL and the TACL, and the LABU continues to be very weak, the whole pharmaceutical sector. So, I mean, the fact that the market is so strong without the pharmaceutical sector is just a incredible example of how strong this market is. And even without some of the FANGs, you know, Facebook's coming off today. Netflix as well. Amazon is at a new record high, and Apple, I think, is also at a new record high. But the breadth is deteriorating. We've kind of had 3 massive days in a row, at least to start with. The Dow might be putting in a low right about here, actually. So especially with the NASDAQ coming back up, it might give the rest of the markets a bit of a lift. The other thing is the mid cap is so strong. That's extremely rare. I mean, it's amazing how strong this mid cap is, making a new record again today. That's very, very bullish. The gold and silver are acting extremely well, considering they were beaten down a few days ago, and making a pretty good comeback. The nugs are not setting the world on fire, but they're higher. The dollar is really the reason why the gold is higher today. And as we said about the dollar, it's broken the trend. It sort of had some sort of a test a couple of days ago, which shook the gold down. And now the dollar seems to have resumed its downtrend. And it's really starting to look pretty heavy, frankly. And going into a holiday, a lot of times in the past, the dollar has been strong going into Thanksgiving. So this is a bit of a reversal. And I would say, given where the dollar is right now, the odds are fairly high we might have a gap down on Friday in the dollar, which could help the metals. And it would be a very big deal if gold and silver are either at these levels or higher by Friday. Copper is also acting really well. And the platinum is also rebounding again, acting better. Palladium is having trouble sort of around the 1,000 level. Speaking of 1,000, beans are closing in on 1,000 finally. And given the way they've been acting here the last couple of days, I'd say they're a pretty good hold at the moment for possible bad weather and higher prices. The lumber has been, we actually took a shot at buying a little bit of a lift off the limit a couple of days ago, and it rallied. It rallied up to about 435. I think we sold it at 434 this morning. It's down to 430. The lumber looks really heavy now, and I guess what's happened is, the hurricane is fading into the background. Going into December, probably demand for lumber is tailing off. So finally, the lumber, which did actually make an I think it made a new all-time high. It did, but it only made it by a smidgen, and now it's been almost in a free fall since. So it looks like the lumber bull market might be over. But orange juice is not yet over. Orange juice, actually, we're still long. We bought the dip. It dipped down this morning, and orange juice is pretty much at the highs here. I think it's probably a pretty good hold against the possible frost. And the wheat and the corn are, grudgingly getting the wheat acting better, but the corn's acting well since Mike called the bottom a few days ago. I would have to say that if the nugget breaks above this 30-30 area, we might get an extension upwards here during the afternoon, which would be pretty bullish. And if we see the gold up around 12.95, I think this time, if we get up to 12.95, we've kind of got to hold above where we are right now. We got to hold at 12.90, 12.88 max. We can't really come down any more than that. Otherwise, I think we're in trouble. You have to be a little bit, the the setup here is such that you could just as easily come in Friday morning and the gold could be getting knocked down again. It has, it's happened a number of times after Thanksgiving, but it may be different this year. And it would be, and I think if it is different this year, that would be a very positive thing indeed. Looks like the Dow is not getting any help from from the Nasdaq after what I just said. It's actually making new lows on the day right now. So there's something bothering the Dow. I haven't looked in to see what it is yet.
Typically, we will rally into a holiday. In particular,
well, I think the rally came. The rally came early, Dwayne. That's the thing.
I think that I guess you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? There's an awful lot of if Amazon doesn't sort of like, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a record Thanksgiving, but maybe that's already factored into the market. If the market sells off on Friday, I might turn pretty bearish on this market, because Friday is normally a pretty strong day, but it may not be this time, just because we may get this period between the end of Thanksgiving and early December, middle of December can be a kind of a testy period. And then there's this risk of the Senate. This guy Moore, he's losing. He's not winning in the polls.
Right. Do you think he should step down?
I think the logical solution to this is for Sessions to take over and go back to the Senate, and get Giuliani or somebody in as the Attorney General, because that's really I don't think Trump. I think putting a seat at risk when you only have 2 Senate seats positive was a kind of a dangerous decision to make. Yeah. And the whole world would be different. I think the whole presidency would be different if Giuliani had been the Attorney General. This Sessions appointment was a real disaster, and it's given because the whole news cycle, you just hear nothing but all this nonsense about Mueller and what he's doing every day, and it's terrible. It's imagine if that wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't. And of course, listen. You listen to CNN every day, and you just listen to nothing but they just they twist everything around anyway to skewer Trump every day. That's all they're about. They don't give him credit for anything. And this, everybody sort of says, "Oh, shoplifting. What the heck? Shoplifting's a really serious crime," and. Especially in China, and these people don't take too kindly. There's sort of brash Americans coming over, and think they can lord it all over people. That it's go down too well, and these guys were really, really lucky. They could be still sitting in jail today.
Yeah, and they don't appreciate the fact that they aren't.
I know, it's a disgrace. It's an absolute outrage. I heard this guy Burgess Owens. He's an retired NFL player. He's a colored gentleman, very, very nice guy indeed. And you should have heard what he said about it yesterday. He was raving on and saying that, he said, look, it's about time to start calling the Democratic Party what they really are. They're the slave. The party of slavery.
If you saw the movie Hillary's America, they made it was the Democratic Party that was behind slavery.
Yeah, and this guy is saying it loud and clear last night. He was really very impressive how he came across, and he said, the Democrats. He just really called them out for everything they're doing, and I was very gratified to hear it. Because
I heard him last night too. I forget which show he was on. Was it Laura Ingraham?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
My wife really likes this show.
Yeah. So, by the way, I got a little tip for you. On your email that comes in, not necessarily from me, but actually, the first time you change it, I had a hard time looking to see what to click, and I didn't see the join the webinar, but maybe you could put that in green and have it flashing or something on the email, just so people can hit on it easily. They can find it easily, especially the first timers. You know, when they renew every month.
Oh, on the first day of the month, you mean?
Well, just every day. You know, when you send it every day, if you just have a thing like pulsing green or, you know, join here, it's just easier for people to find.
Well, those automatic emails, those, once a person signs up, those get sent out by GoToWebinar. We don't actually send those out.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
I could probably offer it up as a suggestion to them.
Yeah, I think it'll look good.
There's a question here in the audience from Mike B. I've been looking to re-enter UNG, but I don't follow natural gas. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the natural gas probably. Actually, we put a buyout on it yesterday at about 303, and it's at 308 right now. So the natural gas is performing very well. It's held at $3 level now on a retest. We did put a sellout on the oil this morning, the energy sector, and it's actually got down quite a bit. I didn't cover the bottom. I didn't cover it yet. I probably should have, but I kind of think the gasoline is going to weigh the sector down, in spite of the fact that we had a big draw yesterday in the crude. So you know, I'd probably cover the crude right now. It's 57.75 or somewhere like that, just in case it sort of starts going back up. But the rest of them, I'd be inclined to stick with the. I think the gasoline. You know, the anticipation of the holiday, whatever, pushed it up yesterday is probably a bit overdone, and they might. I can assure you, if the crude gets any weaker from here, and the gasoline and the heating oil, they might be down more on Friday if the weather's not too cold. So we mentioned Twitter a while back. It's actually made a new multi-month high today. It's been acting really well, and I think, as I said a while ago, it's a kind of a hold, because you never know, somebody might come out and put a buyout for them, you know. And I'd say Twitter would probably go for at least $30 a share. We also started in, you know, maybe by December I might be able to get something going with you, because we've got a very good source for some of these strong performing stocks. We've called about 3 of them right now. We had ONCS from $1.10 to, we're at about 220 today, somewhere like that. CLSN was a huge gainer yesterday, and SRAX is a gainer today. It ran up from about 425 to 555, and it's pulling back here. But it could be a buy on a pullback, but you know, these stocks are very difficult to trade, so it's not a recommendation. I'm just pointing out what we'd actually been doing, and we might be able to get some of these ideas to people before they happen in the not too distant future.
That sounds good. I look forward to that.
Yeah. Well, listen, thanks very much for the invite, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Thank you so much, John. Same to you and yours, and we'll talk soon.
All right, all the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, I got a chance to walk through most of the trade alerts while John was speaking. We had no trigger on the S&P. On the Dow, we had a 50-point move to the downside. Price came within a tick of hitting the buy trigger, but it did not. Soybeans ran up 5 points, and soybeans pay exactly the same way as the S&P 500. $12.50 per tick, 4 ticks per point, $50 per point. So that's 5 times 50. That's what the market made available. We never get out at the swing high or swing low. Why is that? Because we trail our stop And when you trail your stop, you're always going to leave a little something on the table. Last night, the email said on gold to consider buying 1283. First run-up was $300 per contract. That's what the market made available. And then important prices, important areas are almost always tested. And then it made an $800 run right up to the weekly trading zone. Notice how price came up to the zone, pulled down, couldn't make it any further, and spent quite a bit of time consolidating in and around the zone. But then when it took off, it knew right where it was headed. Keep in mind these are 30-minute candles. Crude oil went from zone to zone. Now that moved, just for what it's worth, 56.35 to 57.35. That's $1,000 per contract move. Okay, from zone to zone. And we had 800 important prices, important areas, almost always tested. This first one ran up to 88, and the buy was 57. Oh no, that's yesterday's. That's yesterday's stuff. And just this is the one we're looking at. 550 per contract, but that zone to zone is $1,000 per contract. But today's trade was considered buying 57.50, buy 50, important prices, important areas, almost always tested, and another 550. Dow we covered. The Russell. Consider buying 1524. Oh my goodness. 1524, and the swing high was 2640. Yeah. But you might very well still be in the trade. So the NQ, boy, talk about flat. On the NQ, said to consider buying 63.38. That's not right. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that was just enough to get you in trouble. Okay, and the sell trigger obviously did not trigger. And the last market is bonds. On the bonds, the email said to consider selling 154.04. Okay. And this low here took us down to 153.20. So that would be 16 ticks at 31.25. Per contract available. Okay. Now this is another instance where, you know, you're not going to get out at that swing low. And this pullback, probably taken out. On the long side for bonds, we're looking to buy 154.13. And this is why I tell you, if you're just starting out, if you don't have some special touch, knack, knowledge, avoid the bonds. Some people trade them and trade them well, okay? But there are markets that are simpler to trade. The ES continues its flat roll. Jim asked, did you hear ISIS wants to murder and kill President Trump's 11-year-old son, Barron Trump? Well, no, Jim, I had not read that news. Mike B, I did go over the zones for gold. I don't know if there's any, well, I could give you the next one overhead if I didn't. After 90.91, it's 1306.07. Oh, that's way up there. And if some miracle happened, above that is 1315/1316. And then below, down here, 70, 71. Yep. There you go. So there you go, Mike, in the spirit of Thanksgiving. All right. Let's run over the numbers around the world real quick. Let me refresh my data. All right, here in the U.S., these are the cash markets. The Dow currently down 74 points. NASDAQ up almost 2. S&P 500 down 3. And the Russell 2000 up almost a point. In the commodity basket, crude oil up 83 cents, make that 84, trading 57.67 a last. Gold up $9.20, trading 12.90 last. The Asian markets, color of the day was green. The Nikkei finished the session up 106 points. That's almost half of 1%. Shanghai was up 20 points. That's over half of 1%. And the Hang Seng was up 185, which is also over half of 1%. Things were a little different in the European markets. The FTSE did close in the green, up 7.5. But the DAX took it on the chin, down 153. That's over 1%. And the CAC was down 13. And that's it. Asia green, Europe mixed, and the US mixed. But really close to being all red. Okay, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Remember, we won't be here Thursday or Friday. We're taking the holiday. But you can always reach us, 949-423-6464. support@cfrn.net. If you've been on the trial and you're ready to become a partner, Michael should have sent you an email. If you don't have the email, let us know, either by phone call or by email, and we'll send it to you again so that you know everything you get as a partner and what it takes to become a partner. Of course, there won't be a partners meeting tomorrow night. Because of the holiday, everybody will be spending lots of quality time with their family, as it should be. What we said earlier, John and I, about we appreciate you inviting us into your homes, your office, your life for over a decade now. We're very thankful for that. And tomorrow, as I said at the table, we go around, as is our tradition, and people say, what are you thankful for this year? You will all be part of it. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.